Today, we're jumping headfirst into a classic Azerbaijani folktale, Tülkü, Tünbəki. Now, it all kicks off with something we can all relate to, right? Hunger. But where that hunger leads, well, it becomes a seriously chilling lesson about just how far cunning and cruelty can take you when greed is at the wheel.
And really, this whole story boils down to this one single question. What starts as a simple, dumb mistake completely spirals into this brutal game of survival, where the line between who's the predator and who's the prey, it just gets totally blurred.
All right, so let's set the scene. Our story starts with a fox, a very clever fox who's out on the prowl looking for a meal. You know the feeling. But what he thinks he spots at the bottom of a well, yeah, it's not at all what it seems.
And this is the core illusion, isn't it? The fox's hunger is so powerful, it literally tricks his own eyes. He's absolutely convinced he's looking at a delicious, fatty prize. But it's just a rock, a worthless piece of stone. Right from the get-go, his own greed is clouding his judgment.
So he doesn't even hesitate. He just jumps. And he lands with this painful thud, bruised and instantly, hopelessly trapped. That prize? It was a total lie. And the well just became his prison. So the very first price he pays for his greed is his freedom.
But here's the thing. The fox isn't going to be alone in his misery for very long. Turns out, he's not the only animal around whose greed is about to lead him straight into this very same trap.
You see, the well starts to fill up, but not with water. It fills with a growing list of hungry, desperate animals. One after another, a turtle, a snake, a jackal, a wolf, a pig, and even a huge bear. They all see that same stupid rock, think it's food, and leap right in.
This moment right here, it says everything about their mindset. The jackal lands in the trap, and what's his first instinct? Is it to cooperate? To figure out how to escape? Nope. It's to stake his claim on the very illusion that got them all trapped in the first place.
So now you've got 7 predators, all stuck together in the dark. And after 3 long days go by, that shared hunger starts to get a lot stronger than any fear or caution they might have had. Desperation is really starting to set in.
And this is where the story takes its famous, really dark turn. See, to survive, the fox isn't going to rely on his strength. He's going to rely on his wits. He cooks up this absolutely wicked plan. A little rhyming game where the loser becomes dinner.
The fox starts his song. It sounds like an innocent little kid's rhyme, but really, it's a death warrant. And the other animals, starving and completely out of options, they just grimly agree to play along.
And he just methodically starts picking them off with this cold, twisted logic. The rhyme ends on the turtle, and the fox says, well, its shell is like a bowl, and we don't need a bowl. Then it lands on the snake, and he says, well, its body is like a whip, and we don't need a whip. He seals their fate, and the others, terrified, just comply.
The jackal, the one whose cry is like a herald's call, he's the next to go. One by one, the fox's companions are consumed, and the well just gets quieter and emptier and a whole lot more terrifying.
The game keeps going, but now the dynamic is totally changed. All the weaker animals have been culled, leaving only the strongest to face off against this incredibly cunning fox.
I mean, even the fearsome wolf and the tough old pig fall victim to the fox's lethal song. It's proof that his intelligence is way more deadly than any claw or tusk. And now, he faces his biggest challenge yet, the bear.
The fox knows he can't win a physical fight with the bear. No way. So instead, he uses psychological manipulation. He secretly starts eating some meat he'd hidden away, but he tells the bear he's eating his own flesh. And then he challenges the bear's pride, daring him to prove how strong he is by doing the same thing. And the poor, foolish bear falls for it completely, fatally wounding itself.
And just like that, with the bear dead, the fox is the sole bloody survivor. His cynical thought just hangs in the air. It's like he's saying, everyone always says the bear is stupid, and well, my deadly little trick just proved him right.
But, surviving all the other animals was only half the battle. Sure, he's eaten his fill, but he's still trapped. So how does he get out? Well, he uses the exact same tool that got him in there in the first place, pure deception.
The fox starts crying out, but he's not crying for help. He's putting on a show, wailing, oh greed, you're such a bad thing. It's this calculated act of fake repentance, all designed to lure in a rescuer.
And what do you know? A hunter passing by hears him and pulls him out.
But there's a problem. The hunter recognizes this particular fox. It's the same one that stole all his chickens. So he decides to get some revenge, and he strangles the fox until he goes completely limp. But this fox, as we know, is an absolute master of deception.
And in one final, absolutely brilliant move, just as the hunter is getting his knife ready to skin him, the dead fox cheats death one more time. He springs to his feet and bolts, leaving his would-be killer just standing there, completely stunned.
And this right here is the story's absolutely ruthless takeaway. The fox doesn't just escape, he actually turns back to mock the hunter and give him one last, cynical piece of advice. His cunning never takes a break, his survival is absolute, and he feels exactly zero remorse for any of it. Which leaves us with this final, kinda unsettling thought. Greed was the thing that trapped all 7 of those animals. It was the great equalizer. But the fox's key to survival wasn't just that he was clever, it was that he had a complete and total lack of morality. He was willing to do whatever it took. So what does this ancient story really have to say about what it takes to win in a world that's driven by hunger?